Welcome back to FM Story. We are rapidly approaching the end of season 14, and fingers crossed, this is the season we finally win the Coppa Italia. We're in a really strong position after the first leg of the semi-final. We won that 6-1 at home against the Sassuolo, so hopefully we don't completely throw everything away in the second leg. If we get through that second leg, we'll have a Coppa Italia final coming up against either Napoli or Roma. So without further ado, let's get into the action. So it's time for the second leg of the semi-final of the Coppa Italia. Obviously, as we said, we've got a big advantage going into that, having won the first leg 6-1. We do have some injury and suspension issues though still. We've had a interesting run since the end of the last episode. So we actually started with a game against the Sassuolo that we won 1-0 in the league. We then drew 0-0 in Milan in the Champions League quarter-final. We drew 2-2 away at Frosinone in the league. We beat Milan 4-2 in the second leg of the quarter-final to go through to the semi-final where we've been drawn against Barcelona. And then in the most recent game, we won 2-1 against Salernitana. But now all the attention turns to the second leg of the semi-final of the Coppa Italia. Hopefully we can't throw this away and we see ourselves into the final. So this is the side we've picked for the second leg. So we've got some injury issues. We've also got some players that are on the verge of a suspension if they get booked in this game. So we're not taking any risks with any of them. We've got Jacques, Mafreta and Seref-Can as the back three, Varga at right wing back, Vanini at left wing back, Tonali in front of the back three, Costa and Moretti in midfield with Kusiasari and Gonzalez up top. And hopefully it doesn't cost us in the second leg. Because, I mean, if we do get knocked out in this semi-final, it is going to be one hell of a capitulation in the second leg. I hope that not even we're capable of. All right, not much happening early on in this game. A throw for us, Varga to Kusiasari. Varga into Jacques. Jacques again. Into Tonali. Varga with space on his right-hand side. Into the box for Kusiasari. And he drags it wide of that far post, but some decent play there from us. They now go long from the keeper. Costa wins a header. Now they're attacking down their right. Big cross to the back post. Free header in between two defenders, and the keeper was well out of position as well. And it doesn't come to anything though. Gonzalez back to Seref-Can. Vanini on this left-hand side now. Seref-Can to Moretti. Back to Seref-Can. To Jacques. Mafreta now. And Seref-Can. We're just popping the ball about at the back without actually going forward here. Moretti. Mafreta now lifts it forward. Moretti picks up the loose ball. Vanini in space on the left. Into Gonzalez in the box. Back to Tonali. Moretti. Gonzalez. There's a flag up. So we're going to have to wait and see if it's onside. I'm sure it must have been. It didn't look offside anyway. And there we are, it's given. So Vanini, first ball didn't work. Then into Gonzalez. Back to Tonali. Moretti. And then he just helps it into the box. And Gonzalez hits it first time into the top corner to make it 7-1 on aggregate. I mean, yeah. That never ever looked like it was going to be offside. Napoli are up 3-1 on aggregate in the other semi-final, so it looks like it's going to be our current club against our former Italian club. Gonzalez down the left, back to Seref-Can, Vanini, Seref-Can again. They're just passing the ball to each other there. Mafreta now across to Jacques. half gave it away, got it back. Costa finds Varga in space, drives into the box, squares it. Kusiasare scores. That's 2-0 on the night, 8-1 on aggregate, and I'm pretty certain that is now not even we can manage to throw this away. We have had some capitulations over the 3 seasons we've been here, but to concede 6 to even take it to extra time without another goal for us would be like get sacked on the spot kind of performance. And there we are, half time, 2-0 up on the night, 8-1 on aggregate, doing a professional job. Just need to make it through another 45 minutes and get to that final. Right, we made 3 changes at half time just to give some players a run out and also just to rest a few players as well. Tonali now driving forward, finds it's moved on. Serefchan looks for Costa, and now they're going to break, and DeAndrea's in behind. We've got players back though, except the cross went right behind all of them. Simple finish in the end. 2-1 on the night, 8-2 on aggregate. And hopefully this is just a consolation. He's a decent baller, good finish from around the penalty spot. Right, Tonali with a free kick for us, aiming towards the far post. It's headed up in the air. Suarez pulls it down, still has it. Almost picks someone out in the middle of the box, and they scramble it clear. We've still got it though. Suarez out to Serefchan on the left. Vanini even wider left. And he just gave them the ball and just stopped running. And now they're attacking in behind where he was. And now they're into the box. And luckily El Fassi is more awake than Vanini is. DeAndrea with the corner. It's headed up in the air. Overhead kick. Thankfully just wide of the post. Another corner for them. Near post header in off the underside of the bar. And that's 2-2 on the night and 8-3 on aggregate. And there's still, with injury time, probably about 40 minutes left for them to get another 5. Fargo with a throw. Costa back to Jacques. Costa to Suarez. Moretti back to Suarez. Moretti again. Adegboyega blocked the challenge. Kim Soo-hyun lifts it over the top. Free kick for them on the edge of the area. El Fassi turns it over, but we have been just rubbish in the second half. We've really let them back into the game. At least we got out to block that shot from the short corner. But the cross is going to come in to the far post. A free header. Luckily he's leaning back and it goes over the top. A free kick to them, chipped into the box. We've got a head on it. And they've picked up the loose ball though. Back on the halfway line with them. And now they've hammered it back to the goalkeeper. And attacking down their left again. And again back to the goalkeeper. Gone past his man on that left-hand side. Cross to the back post. Wardle's got his second goal of the game. They're winning on the night. Luckily, there's only 5 minutes left before injury time. We are still 4 goals ahead on aggregate, but This is one of our worst performances for a long while. The second half has been abysmal. We're going to need to be much, much better. It's going to be a final against Napoli because, well, in fact, probably against Napoli. It's 4-2 in aggregate in that other semi-final. And there we are, full time. We've lost 3-2 on the night. Thankfully, we had such a big lead from that first leg that we've made it through to the final. And a chance to take on our old club. And hopefully they don't stop us finally winning the Coppa Italia. It's time for the Coppa Italia final. I do wish we were coming into this in slightly better form. The good news is we don't have anyone injured. We don't have anyone suspended. After the second leg against Sassuolo, we beat Lecce 3-1 away from home in the league. We lost 3-0 away at the new camp against Barcelona in the Champions League. We beat Sampdoria 2-0. We beat Barcelona 1-0 in the second leg, but unfortunately we didn't make it through to the final. And then in the most recent game, we lost 2-1 against Lazio. We were 1-0 up. They equalised. We had a player sent off, and then they got a 91st minute winner. The most important game of the time we've been at Juventus, the Coppa Italia final against one of our former teams in Napoli. And so much is on the line in this game. If we win, we get to leave Italy and never think about it again. If we lose, who knows what happens for next season. And here we go. It's time for the final. For the first time in what feels like months, we've been able to pick what we consider our probably best 11. Obviously, we've had some issues against Napoli in recent seasons since we got here. Larger games in Naples that we've lost against them. But there are a couple of players in this Napoli starting lineup that were still there at the time we were in charge of Napoli. Vidal in goal, Nathan, Kotnik, who we brought in, Ayman Kari. We actually agreed the deal for Oscar Glauc to come in before leaving for Real Madrid. Junior Krupi's on the bench, Rodrigo Gomez on the bench, both players that were big parts when they were fit of what we achieved, winning that Serie A title with Napoli. But now, all that stands between us and securing the Coppa Italia is this Napoli side. So they're going 4-3-3. We are sticking with the 3-5-2 we've played all season. And that is a big, big blow, losing Andres Ortiz early on. Schlosselberg to come on for him. Right, Varga with a throw. Binch back to Varga, cross towards the back post. It's headed as far as Lodovic's. He smashed it from distance and he got deflected behind Gonzalez with the corner. It's going to be in-swinger on the left foot. Aims for the back post. And that's headed clear. Shablas, can he get it across? No, it goes behind for a corner on the other side. Right, Ravella to take it from that side. In towards the near post. It drops eventually at the feet of Vanini for him to volley home. The most unlikely of goal scorers. And we're 1-0 up. Corner goes into the near post. Everyone misjudges it. Vanini steals in and just steers it on the volley past Vidal. Varga down the line to Schlosselberg. He loses out, but then wins it back. Finds Mafreta. Ravella gives it away. And then they're through. And we've got away with one there off the crossbar. Right, Alfasi to Lodovic's. Vanini. Wide to Shablas. Lodovic's into Binch. Schlosselberg. Varga coming forward on the right hand side. Gets to the byline, crosses to the back post. And I assume we've been given a penalty here. I was actually watching to see where the ball ended up, and it's a penalty to us. Ravella steps up, and Vidal saves it. It's behind for a corner. Gonzalez to take to the far post. Shot from the edge of the area, and then Ravella lashes it over the top just to compound that penalty miss. We are 1-0 up at half time. We've been pretty dominant in terms of the highlights, at least. Hopefully, we do not come to regret that Ravella missed penalty. All right, another corner for us. Ravella to take it. Goes short to Gutierrez, back to Ravella. It looked like he shot. It ends up hitting Binch and flying into the top corner. I don't know whether he meant that at all, but it's doubled our lead straight after half time. So Ravella drives in. It flies in off the left boot of Binch. 2-0 and a bit of a cushion. Right, they've got the ball at the back. Gone back to Vidal. Nathan out to Kotnik. They've it in behind on their left-hand side there, but Varga gets back. Mafreta goes long. Schusselberg heads it down for Binch. It's back to Varga. Ravella with some space. Gives it away. But Lodovic thankfully makes a tackle there. Mafreta to Varga with some space in front of him. And then he gives the ball away, but Schusselberg wins it back. Both teams giving the ball away left, right and centre here. Chablas into Gonzalez in the box. Chablas. It pops out to Edgar Gutierrez. He turns it home. That's us 3-0 up just before the hour. And surely, finally, we're about to win the Coppa Italia. Both teams just have been constantly giving the ball away for the last couple of minutes. Eventually a cross. Vidal parries it. Gutierrez couldn't miss. And that's 3-0. Right, so we made some subs in the midfield just to get some fresh legs on there, just so we don't get overrun. Right, they've got a throw down the right. Rodrigo Gomez has come on. He goes back to Vidal. They've played it long, but straight to Vanini. Moretti to Chablas. Gonzalez. Still got it. Loses out though. Glauc. But Vanini steps in. Moretti to Tonali. Chablas goes down the outside. Gonzalez steers it wide of the post. Right, Chablas to Moretti. Chablas is about to come off. There's a Ferris to Tonali, wide to Varga. Cuts in onto his left foot, and it just doesn't curl enough and drifts wide of the far post. And Schusselberg back to Gonzalez, Varga, Zaferis, Chablas. Arrows it wide of the far post. And there we are, full time, and we have finally, after 3 seasons at Juventus, 1 season at Napoli, earlier on in the save, we finally managed to win the Coppa Italia. It's just been a pain. It's been so painful winning that, but we've done it. We've won the Coppa Italia. We've won everything we need to in Italy. Now we just need to end the season and then decide where best to attack the Europa League from. So it's now the end of the season. We obviously had a couple of league games after the final. We beat Cagliari in one of those, and we lost to Fiorentina in the other. It meant we ended up finishing second. Milan have won the 7th straight league title. We're 12 points behind, finished 12 points behind them. Obviously, with Juventus not being in the Europa League next season, it is going to be time to move on. Just looking around some of the leagues to see which teams have qualified for the Europa League. Inter and Sassuolo have qualified for the Europa League in Serie A. Now, Inter, the job is available. And as much as I said we would probably never come back to Italy, this Inter squad should be good enough to challenge in the Europa League. Looking at the Premier League, the teams that are qualified for the Europa League are Man City and Tottenham. Both of those teams should be good enough to win the Europa League. However, they both changed their manager midway through the season. So it's unlikely, I would think, that job, either of those jobs are going to come up in the summer. France, Lyon and Lille qualified for the Europa League. The only job available in France is Nice, who missed out on Europe completely. Germany, we've got Eintracht Frankfurt, Cologne and Hertha Berlin, who've qualified for the Europa League. So one of those must have won the Conference League. I'd be very surprised if any of those jobs open up unless someone moves on. It isn't an international summer as well, so there's probably not going to be too much movement. And then in Spain, the teams qualified for the Europa League are Betis and Osasuna. And it's not as if one of those has drastically fallen and are likely to sack the manager either. So obviously what's going to end up happening is us resigning from Juventus and hoping that somehow one of these jobs in the Europa League pops up so that we can have a shot at the Europa League this coming season. Obviously, who knows what's going to happen if one of those jobs doesn't pop up. But the Inter job is available, so it may be a case of applying for that as a standby in case anything happens, in case we don't get any of the other jobs opening up. But we have now added the Coppa Italia to the trophy cabinet. The only thing left now is the Europa League, hence why we were looking for those teams that are qualified for the Europa League. And there we are, the end of another season, and finally the monkey's off our back. The Coppa Italia has been won, and now with going into season 15 of the Glory Hunt Save, we've got one trophy left to win, and that's the Europa League. So join us next time to find out where we end up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.